all you beautiful people. I am so happy that you're here. If you're hopping on right now, I'll give you a couple seconds. I'm just going to kind of talk about who I am and what we're going to be doing today. So my name's Jen. I'm a 16-year body worker and I'm a second-year Somatic educator student. So the big thing about learning how to get out of the problems that we have is learning how we got into them. That's the somatic theory. So today's class is breathing with purpose. So I named it that because, you know, we all breathe, but there's a big purpose to our breathing that's really important. That is recovery or survival. So most of us, unfortunately, are breathing not correctly. We're chest breathing and not diaphragmatic breathing. So this class is going to teach you how to diaphragmatic breathe better, and then it's also going to teach you how to do it easier as well. So we're going to be opening up the body for better diaphragmatic breathing and show you the difference between the chest breathing and the recovery breathing. So I'm going to go ahead and sit back here. I have a yoga block. You don't have to have one at home. You can just use a mat, but it just helps visualize a little bit better. So I'm going to go ahead and sit on here. We're going to go over the two different types of breathing first. So you have chest breathing, which is your survival breathing. A lot of us are at home right now watching TV, relaxing. That's also has a lot of anxiety behind it right now as well. So a lot of us are very stooped forward. And a lot of us are chest breathing, which is actually increasing our anxiety and our depression dramatically because chest breathing is meant for survival. So what I want you to do first of all is to take one hand and put it on your chest, and then another hand and put it on your belly, and I want you to just take a couple breaths first, and I just want you to feel your body. So you can close your eyes. We're going to do this we're going to take 3 big breaths, and I just want you to feel your body. So don't expect anything, just feel. So we'll go ahead and start. Okay, when you're done with your 3rd breath, you can go ahead and bring your arms back down. And I want you to just notice, did you feel more movement through the chest or did you feel more movement through the belly? I'll kind of show you what the difference looks like if you're breathing at home along with me. A chest breath would look like this through my body. Notice a lot of chest movement. I'm moving a lot up top. I'll do that again. Okay, now I'm going to show you what a belly breath looks like, or a diaphragmatic breath. So the top of the body is very still, the belly is moving out, it becomes a balloon in the front of us. Now chest breathing is made for running, it's made for endurance. But if you're only chest breathing, it also increases your blood pressure. As you can imagine, if you're running away from danger, your blood pressure is going to increase. Your body is going to be sending its blood to the extremities because it needs to get away. It's called fight or flight. So chest breathing is associated with the higher blood pressure, anxiety and depression, lack of sleep. It can cause heart conditions. So most of us are unfortunately chest breathing. So if you did notice a lot of movement in the upper body part of your body, don't worry. I'm going to show you today how to get out of that. Both are important, like I said. So you do have that part down. You have your survival breathing down. Now the diaphragmatic breathing, which is the belly breathing, is your recovery breathing. So that lowers your blood pressure. That is made for your body to start repairing itself. So after you've been running, you'll notice you'll gasp for air and your body wants to make these big movements through the belly because the diaphragm is really working to get a lot of oxygen into our system so we can repair. So the more you know how to belly breathe, the better you can recover, the lower the blood pressure, the better your heart rate, the better the sleep. I mean, there's so many different great and positive things about diaphragmatic breathing. So to kind of tell you a little bit about the diaphragm, if you can imagine your rib cage, it's a circle around your body here. Inside of your rib cage is a viscera type muscle called your diaphragm. So what that is, it's kind of like a very thin muscle that attaches from the front of the ribs to the back, and it acts like a pump. So it's pumping air in and out of our lungs. So I want you to picture an umbrella. So when we take a deep diaphragmatic breath or a correct breath, what actually happens is the lungs expand, and so what has to happen? The diaphragm actually has to move downward and flatten out the umbrella in order to make room for the lungs to expand. What happens when that happens? Our organs actually protrude out and cause the belly to expand. So that's actually what it is. It's not air, it's actually our organs being pressed out by the diaphragm to make room for the lungs to expand. And then when you exhale, that pump then presses up into the lungs to exhale that oxygen out. So you need a very flexible diaphragm to get as much lung expansion as you want to get correct breathing. So I'm gonna be teaching you ways to actually use your breath to retrain your diaphragm, how to work bigger and better and have more control over that. So whenever you do have these stressful situations or these situations where you need to recover, you can go into some of these breathing movements and take control again, and it actually will give you immediate benefits that I had mentioned before, lowering blood pressure and so forth. One thing I also want you to keep in mind is that, when we take a deep breath, we're going to be moving through movements. Our breath isn't just going forward, or our viscera of our organs isn't just going forward. It's going to the sides, it's over here, it's actually going to the back as well. The the rib cage is expanding, the intercostal muscles in between the ribs, they need to move. So we're actually going to be positionally using the floor to inhibit certain areas of our body and push air into different, what I'll say, like pockets or rooms in our body to help expand those areas, so then when we take deeper breaths, we can actually feel it throughout the body. So I'm gonna go ahead and start moving into the movements. I'm gonna show you them first, then I'm gonna give you a little bit of time, because this one, if you've done my cat stretch before, or any of my previous other classes, the best thing about a lot of these moves is that they're going to be similar to other classes, but I'm needing to guide you through different ways of cortical thought so your brain can tap into all that's going on through the movement. So we're actually going to start with the most important movement in somatics, which is the arch and flatten, to help open up our front and back body, and then we'll start to move into the pump movements. Now this class is really fun, so I'm excited for you guys to start. So go ahead and lay on your back, and you can go ahead and turn your camera towards me so you can take a look at what the arch and flatten looks like first. So we're going to lay back on our back, arms to the side, palm up. Your knees and your feet want to be hip width apart. So this is your starting position. First thing I want you to do, our brain really wants to notice difference. If it notices difference and change, then it's going to become more ingrained into our subcortical brains and make this more permanent. So I want you to just take a couple breaths with your hand on your belly. Take as big of a breath as you can. Feel how much the body will give. Start to tune into that umbrella. Envision that umbrella as you breathe in. And envision that umbrella pressing downward, pushing your organs up, making a balloon with the belly, and then slowly exhale. And imagine that umbrella now pressing up into the umbrella form and pressing the lungs out and exhaling all the oxygen in the lungs. Okay, so now let's go ahead and move into the arch and flatten. And you can go ahead and keep that hand on the belly if you'd like. The arch and flatten is a very simple move. You're just going to roll your pelvis to create an arch. I'm going to do it quickly so you can kind of see the motion real quick, and then relax slowly. And then pause in neutral, and then we're going to tuck our pelvis towards our sternum and flatten. So we're really going to regain some mobility in the front and back of the body. So what I want you to do on this one is, I'm going to demonstrate it first, is I want you to keep the hand on the belly, because when we inhale, we're arching, and when we exhale, we flatten. So I want you to start to really feel how those correlate together. So I'm going to take a deep breath in. Okay, allow my body to feel neutral. Take a deep breath in again. You'll see my belly rise. And as I exhale, I'm going to tuck, tuck, tuck. That umbrella is going up into my ribcage. I'll allowing me to actually tuck more and then slowly relax. So you guys go ahead and do this. We're going to do this about 5 times, back and forth, 5 arches and then into a flatten. And I want you to really, again, keep your mind's eye on the diaphragm and what's going on. As you inhale in and you arch, that diaphragm is pressing downward, making room for the lungs. As you inhale, imagine those lungs getting nice and big. And then slowly exhale, imagine that diaphragm then going up into the rib cage, pressing all that air out of the lungs until you're fully relaxed into neutral. And then when you're ready, take a deep breath in. We're not moving yet, but taking a deep breath in, pushing the belly out like a balloon. And then on the exhale, go ahead and use that diaphragm to press out all the air in that lungs as you simultaneously tuck that pelvis up to the sternum and use that exhalation to drive and lengthen the back and tighten the front body. And then slowly ease off. So go ahead and go back and forth, really start to in-tune your cortical part of your brain or the front part of your brain with what's going on, feeling that air fill up, feeling it dissipate out as you exhale. Notice that the more you relax the abdominal muscles, allowing the belly to swell, the greater the amount of air will be drawn into the lungs. In relaxed, deep breathing, it's not the upper chest that lifts, but only the belly. When you inhale in, I want you to think about a balloon getting big, 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 pressing that balloon out with the air, and then slowly exhale out. Really start to imagine that diaphragm is a pump, pumping, a piston, pumping back and forth, that air. We want to imagine a ball of air we're creating in that belly and then dispelling. Okay, so go ahead and finish the last one that you're on. And now we're going to start playing with, you guys can go ahead and stay where you are. And we're going to start playing with our air. So this is a little bit of visualization. This is one of my favorite classes because it tends to be a lot of fun. So what I want you to imagine is that you have this big ball of air whenever you inhale in. And we're actually going to throw that ball of air back and forth into the diaphragm and into the chest. So it's still kind of an arch and flatten movement, but our brains now are going more towards the inhalation and the exhalation, and that's automatically going to arch and flatten our back. So what we're going to be doing is using that big ball of air to expand space into the front body and into the chest. So I'll go ahead and demonstrate for you first. Now, you're going to notice that I'm going to lock in my air and my belly, and the movement's very aggressive because we need to do that in order to pump the air up and down. So go ahead and stay on the back, and you can turn towards me. And just go ahead and watch what I do first. Okay, so as I'm doing this, what I'm doing is I'm taking a big inhale in, making my belly swell, then I'm imagining, I lock it into place. I hold my breath, I'm holding my breath through this whole movement, and then I'm pushing the air up into my chest and expanding my chest. So it's going to be a back and forth movement. It's going to be jerky, just like what you saw from me. And then you notice I wasn't focusing on arching and flattening, but it has to happen in order for me to move that ball of air. So I'm going to be gaining space. So I'll go ahead and show it one more time, and then we'll go ahead and do 3 rounds of these. So deep breath in. You can go along with me if you like. Lock it in. And then exhale when you need. Don't get lightheaded. That's not the point of this. It's just moving air. Okay, so you guys go ahead and continue to do this. You're going to take a deep inhale in. You can put your hands on your belly if it's easier for you to feel that belly rise. And then lock it in. Hold it in. Don't exhale. And then imagine pushing that air up into the chest and then back down to the belly, up into the chest, down to the belly, up into the chest, down to the belly, back and forth, back and forth. And then when you're all done, you can go ahead and take a breath, exhale, and then go into the next one. So we're gonna do this 2 more times. Deep breath in, lock it in, shove it up towards the chest. Go back and forth, back and forth. Feel the belly expand, feel the belly get big, feel the chest take it, feel how it jerks and moves the air back and forth. We're actually pumping your diaphragm. The diaphragm is quickly going down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. We are training your diaphragm to move more openly, and we're gaining control of it. Okay, and then go ahead and do it 1 more time. Imagining that big viscera muscle, or that big thin muscle through the rib cage, pumping up and down, moving that air back and forth, and then go ahead and relax. So now we're gonna do the same movement, but we're gonna start in the chest. Again, we need both movements, so it's very important. You may notice that when you breathe through the chest, one thing I definitely notice, because I'm a diaphragmatic breather and I'm actually working on doing the opposite a little bit better, is breathing through the chest might immediately feel more restricted. That's because it is survival breathing. So we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to start, we're bringing our mind's eye to the chest breathing to start, and then shoving it down into the belly. So you're going to basically start with a flatten. So it's going to be a deep breath in, see my chest rise, lock in, and exhale out. One thing I definitely notice when I start in the chest myself is I just don't get as deep of a breath to work with. So you notice that too. Kind of keep that in mind. Kind of shows you the difference in the 2 types of breathing. So go ahead and do this about 2 more times. Take a deep breath in. And exhale out. And then whenever you're ready for your second one, go ahead and start that. One thing I want you to note too is how far do you feel this breath moving? You should really feel a deep breath down to the pubic bone into the shoulders. So there is a lot of movement, a lot of expansion that goes onto our body, into our bodies as we take breaths in. Okay, so whenever you're done, you can go ahead and pause. And go ahead and just, keep staying in that arch and flatten position with the knees bent, and just put your hand on your belly and take a couple deep breaths and start to notice if you already feel like it's a little bit better, a little bit more able to expand the belly into a big old air balloon than it was when we first started. So the way that somatics works is it's a neuromuscular therapy. So the more that we show our brain, hey, there is a change, like I had said previously, there is changes, those changes become permanent. So I always tell my clients, anything that you do passively that is only passive will not give you complete and long-term results. Our brains are very important into every bit of recovery that we do. So we need to make ourselves work for our recovery. So that means thinking, feeling, seeing, all of those play in. Proprioception is a big thing. Okay, so now we're gonna move in. So when we were laying on the ground, we were actually restricting our back movement. So we were forcing all the air up. So it was acting as feedback. So now we're gonna do the opposite so we can actually expand the back area to allow our rib cages to actually expand more and to take even more breath in than what we just did. So you're gonna go lay on your belly. You're gonna bring one arm up. We'll go ahead and start with the left arm for me, but you guys can do either or, it doesn't matter. And you want to bring the other one down to the side. So I want to show you what this does first. So whenever you bring the arm up, what happens to our rib cage and our side body? It opens up. All of this has now become potential space that we can use to increase our ability to expand our diaphragm. Now, with the arm down, we're kind of locking in that opposite side, and we're focusing on using the ground and the lockdown opposite side to expand more space here on the open side. So same thing, it's again jerky movement, but it's going to be the same exact thing. We're just in a different position. So I'll go ahead and let you see that first. I'm going to take a deep belly breath in, hold it, shove it to my chest, and go back and forth with that air ball. So I'm going to go ahead and take a deep breath in. And exhale out. So as you can see, it's like I'm doing arch and flatten, but on my stomach. So I'm going to show you that one more time. We're starting with the belly again. And exhale out. And what I'm really focusing on as I do this is expanding right here. Expanding right here, expanding right here, really using my air to press out, press out, press out, and create more space. So you guys go ahead and start doing that with a deep belly breath in. Take a deep breath, and then shove that breath up into your chest. Okay, and then go back and forth. Remember that air is locked in. So what I want you to think about more is as you're doing this, it is that arch and flatten movement. So if you're having issues, bring your brain for a moment to that arch and flatten movement more than the breath. When you're taking a deep breath in, your back is actually arching up, so your booty's going out. And then as you shoot the air out, your pelvis is tucking forward and you're flattening your back. So if you need to go ahead and think about that, booty up, booty in, booty up, booty in. If you need to think about that a little bit first, go ahead and do that. Go ahead and make that motion a little bit. Booty out, booty in, booty out, booty in. And then add the air. So booty out, breath in, booty in, breath out. Booty out, breath in, booty down, breath out. So go ahead and go back and forth with that. And then go ahead and do this 1 or 2 times, or 2 or 3 times as you do this. And then go ahead and relax. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're actually going to do the opposite of what we just did. So again, we're going to teach, we're not just teaching diaphragmatic breathing, we're teaching chest breathing, because we need to teach our bodies how to get out of chest breathing. In order to do that, we have to say, okay, chest breathing, if you want to work, I'm going to show you how to work, and I'm going to show you how to let go of that. So same thing, and I'm going to start in an a flatten, so that booty in movement. So still on the same side. Going to take a deep breath in. And exhale out. Okay, so same thing, same motion, but your brain is now focusing on the chest breathing a little bit more, sucking in the air, locking it in, and shoving it down into the belly, and then back and forth. Chest, belly, chest, belly, chest, belly. So we're going to do this for about 2 rounds. Really feel the expansion of not only that side body, but the rib cage as you take a deep breath in the chest and shove it back and forth. You're feeling your whole side body actually opening up and expanding out. And then when you're done, go ahead and relax, and we're actually going to switch sides. So well, first of all, let's go ahead and just let your body kind of feel the difference. So if you're seated, go ahead and put your hands here as we switch, and notice, hey, does one side feel looser? How about my back? The side that you worked might feel a little bit more pliable. Okay, now we're going to switch sides. So I'm going to go this way, and same thing, deep breath in through the belly, and expand, and then exhale out. And we're going to do that back and forth. Belly, chest, belly, chest. Remember, keep that air ball locked in. Use that air ball to shove up into the diaphragm, and then pump it out. Pump it in, pump it out, pump it in, pump it out. Create that pump. Expanding now the opposite side of the body. Making it big. Pressing the lungs out. Feel that air as that ball moves back and forth. Pressing the rib cage out. Expanding those intercostals. Allowing the ribs to open up more on that side. And lengthening your side body. So do this about 2 times. And then whenever you're done, we're going to go ahead and switch, and we're going to start with the chest. So again, I'll demonstrate real quickly. You're going to, remember, tuck the booty in when we breathe. And exhale out. Now focusing on the chest, breathing a little bit more, bringing our brains to that area of movement, and we're going to do this about 1 to 2 times. So continue pressing, pumping that air ball back and forth, back and forth. Now lengthening the opposite side, opening up the opposite side. Feel the breath, filling every part of that opposite side that the arm is now up on. Okay, and then go ahead and relax. And you can lay on the ground or you can sit. I'm going to go ahead and sit. And now, again, bring your brain to the difference. So feel the back. Take a deep breath in through the belly. Maybe you can actually feel the hands being pressed into in the back. I know I can, especially my right side, so that tells me I need to work a little bit more on my left. You guys will notice that there are differences in our body as you're feeling this. That's completely normal. We're not perfect human beings. What I want you to do with that information, if one side's easier than the other, tell yourself, okay, I'm gonna do 10 on the hard side and 5 on the easy side, because that is an area that your brain has let go of a little bit more, most likely from some habitual tension you have developed through posture, sleeping patterns, etc. Okay, so now we've expanded our outer body, we've expanded the front body. Now we're going to move to the side body and get some more movement here using the floor again as a feedback device. So you're going to lay on your side, arm can be out to rest your head, either side's fine. You're going to bring your knees up to 90 degrees. This is really important. We're going to start expanding your breath here. Obviously down here, my ribs and my side body are not going to be able to open up. So what is that going to do with that air ball? It's going to shove it up here. It has to find space to move. So you're taking a deep breath in. All the air has to be going somewhere. So that's why we do these movements. That's why we lay these certain areas, because now this air is going to be forced into a new area. So I'm going to go ahead and take a deep breath in, and now it's like the same movement, the arch and flatten, but I'm going to take a deep belly breath in first. So breath in, lock it in, and exhale out. You noticed I moved my hand around a lot because I want my brain to feel where the air is expanding and creating space. If I don't feel an area is working as well as I'd like, what I'll do is I'll put my hand on that area and actually bring my attention to it and purposefully press my air in that area to reteach it and regain cortical control. So again, I'll show you again, deep breath in. And exhale out. I feel a lot of tension on this left side of my rib cage, and as I do it, I notice that it can help it out a lot. So go ahead and do this a couple times. Start with a deep inhale in into the belly, lock it in like a big air balloon, and then start to arch and flatten, arch and flatten, arch and flatten. Bring that air up and down and up and down and up and down in the body, using it as a tool to expand the side body, expand the rib cage, expand forward, all the different areas that the ribs and lungs need to expand to get really good diaphragmatic breath. And go ahead and do another one. Bring your attention to those areas that might feel a little stiffer than the other areas, and then go ahead and exhale and rest a little bit. Now, if any time you feel lightheaded, just take a break. This is new. This is actually, you're getting probably more oxygen than you've had in a long time, so your body needs some time to adjust, so don't worry if you feel a little lightheaded. Okay, so now we're going to do, again, the chest breathing. It's really important. We got to do both. So we're going to start with the chest breathing. So that's the tucked booty, and then moved into the arch, which is the arched booty. So I'm going to go ahead and take a deep breath in. And slowly exhale out. Move that air from the chest to the belly, to the chest to the belly, feeling the difference. And go ahead and start doing those, about 1 to 2 of those, maybe 3 if you feel like it. Bring your attention to the expansion, and you may start feeling into the pec. This class is actually followed, is after a couple other classes that expand our hips, side body, and chest. So typically after those, you'll feel a little bit more movement in the chest. So if you don't feel any, that's fine. You'll get there. You'll get there. Okay, and then when you're all done with that, go ahead and finish your last set. We're gonna switch sides and go to the opposite side to now expand the opposite side. Oh, well, actually, go ahead and lay on your back first, because this is a really fun one to do. And because you can feel the difference pretty dramatically, if you put your hands around your waist and kind of take a deep breath in, you will actually feel the body expand more on the side that you just opened. It's really it's trippy. It's crazy. You're like, oh wow, I didn't realize that I can add that much space. So go ahead and take a deep belly breath in and feel how that side that you opened up lifts higher, it expands out more, much more movement. Okay, now go ahead and switch to the other side so we can fix that. So again, laying on the side, gonna start with a big belly breath in first. Bring your knees up to 90 degrees and then the feet at 90 degrees, and then take a deep belly breath in, arching the booty out. And slowly exhale, and then go ahead and do a couple of these, 2 to 3 of these, back and forth and back and forth. One thing that's a lot of fun as you guys do this, if you guys start to get the kind of a gurgle sensation, I get it a lot. It is actually the viscera moving, or the organs moving around and creating noise. This is also really good for belly dancer training. As you can imagine, they use a lot of diaphragmatic breathing, or diaphragmatic control more than breathing. So imagine if that's one of your goals while you're sitting at home during all of this, becoming a belly dancer, this is where you need to start. So, okay, you guys go ahead and finish this one, and then we're gonna move into the chest breathing on the side, and go ahead and take a deep breath in into the chest. We're gonna tuck the pelvis, so and slowly exhale. Let's continue to do a couple of those, locking in that breath and shoving it up and down and up and down and up and down, opening up your side body. I want you to really imagine as that air is transferring from your chest to your belly, that whole upper side coming out, pushing out, pushing out. So if you want to put your hand there and purposefully say, I'm going to press that hand out as I shove the air down into my belly, do that. Expand that area. Open up the area between the rib cage and the hips. Really let that diaphragm expand out so you can take deeper breath. Okay, and whenever you're done with your last one, go ahead and relax. And then flip onto your back. And lay out into Savasana or dead body pose, or legs out, arms out. And you can close your eyes and relax, or you can, keep them open, whatever you prefer. And I want you to just put a hand on your belly and a hand on your chest and take some really big belly breaths, trying to keep that chest as still as possible. Okay, do a couple of these really slow, deep breaths. Utilize all that space that we just created. So imagine as you're breathing, expanding out, expanding back, expanding through the belly. You're a huge balloon. I want you to even imagine that as you're breathing, your chest is opening. You should feel all the way into your pelvic floor. So deep breath in. Feel that air even fill up down into the pelvic floor, and then exhale out. Really imagine that diaphragm as you breathe in, pushing everything out. So my diaphragm's a nice open, or a nice flat umbrella. As I exhale, it becomes an open or completely open umbrella and presses all that air out of my lungs. And then whenever you're ready, you can go ahead and relax. Stay laying down or sit up. And I just want you to notice over these simple practices, what we've been doing is creating more space. Take a couple deep breaths in neutral or wherever you are at right now, making it easier to breathe. You feel like you're getting more oxygen. You may feel more relaxed. You may feel an endorphin rush. That's always a positive thing that we get from more oxygen in our bodies. And I want you to also notice, which I always get, like it's almost like a euphoric calmness, like everything's good. We all need that right now. Everything's good. We want to be chill. We want to be relaxed. We want to be motivated. We don't want to be locked down, anxiety-ridden, and fearful all the time. So doing things like this, creating a physiological response of openness, acceptance, and calm in our bodies actually will trigger psychological and chemical responses in our brain to also then give us the happy hormones. So doing this not only has physical but very great psychological benefits, especially during these times. I do want you guys to go ahead and follow up this video with some links I'm going to put in the comments with Tarka Sullivan, who's an Ayurvedic student and a yoga teacher. She's going to show you some breathing exercises that you can do at home to really take advantage of that new space that you have that also induce calm. There's a couple different types that she can show you. And if you're new to us, please follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, where I'm going to have tips and videos like this almost every day. Well, I will have something up every single day to help you take care of yourself at home. And there are also some great giveaways going on. And if you're interested in learning more about somatics, I have the Somatics book. It's Somatics Reawakening the Mind's Control of Movement, Flexibility, and Health. So taking control of your body, you're using our brains, and it has tons of great exercises in the back as well. If you're interested in one of these, they're only $20. You can Venmo me at Jen at Fusion WB Recovery, and I'll go ahead and ship that to you. Thankfully, the post offices are still open. So thank you for joining me. I will be having a hip and back class next Wednesday, releasing the hips and back. I'm still trying to figure out the other one that I'm going to have. So you guys go ahead and comment below of what you want to see. And we're still waiting on when we can open. You know, this is all day by day, but I will continue to take care of you from afar, and I'm also available for online consults. You just reach out and comment below, or you can always PM me. So y'all have a wonderful Saturday. Enjoy this great weather, and I will talk to you later.